Let's bring in our visiting fellow at the US Studies Centre and Sky News contributor, Bruce Wolpe. Bruce, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
One of the breaking news stories overnight is Iran. Maybe it serves us right for getting ahead of ourselves, thinking that the tensions in the Strait of Hormuz were going to end by the foreign minister of Iran being invited by the French president rather cheekily and not telling Donald Trump about it, hoping that they would get together and sort out their differences. It looked like that might happen yesterday. Today, Hassan Rouhani has said, no, don't think so. So what are your thoughts on that?
I still think it's net positive, and I think you have posturing, and you're going to have it by both sides. I mean, Trump at his press conference said they're going to have to give up their nuclear weapons, they're going to have to do this, that, and so forth, and I think they're staking out positions. But the fact that a diplomatic channel is open, which was not visible just a week ago, I think is significant. And also, I think the thing to watch, if there's more military hostilities in the Gulf that they provoke by attacks on ships, that would be a very bad sign. So if that freeze continues, that'll be a good sign.
But the idea of Iran giving up those nuclear weapons, I mean, that's a bit far-fetched, isn't it? That's why we're here in the first place, because Donald Trump knew that they were not going to do that.
That's true, but the nations who signed it believe that if you have a no weapons program, nothing under development for 10 years, maybe something happens in the 10 years inside Iran, maybe they come to their senses on it. Is it better to have it or not have it? In any event, you have to renegotiate the deal, and that's what this dialogue is going to be.
I mean, those sanctions are crippling Iran, though, right? They've been cut off their knees, so they can only hold on for so long. So the expectation is that they will blink first, right?
The expectation, they want out in some form. So this diplomacy is their ticket to the door to get some more rational behavior.
All right, Bruce, let's get your thoughts on the trade war this week. Yesterday, this was our headline news. We were thinking that the trade war was going to be coming to an end, with both China and the US admitting that, tensions need to be cooled somehow. Are you buying that?
Yes, because I think both sides blinked. I think China recognizes that something needs to happen because they were in a bad place and their economy is hurting more than the U.S. economy at present. But over the long term, U.S. economy may hurt. I think that drives Trump to have some dialogue because he doesn't want to have a recession going into the election. But whether they can really, really get together and solve this remains to be seen. I think first, will talks occur in September at high levels to continue the dialogue? Second, will there be a settlement by the end of the year? Because if you go into next year, it's too political.
This is the game, though, because we've spoken about this before, in that that things start to cool when it comes to this trade war, and then all of a sudden, whack, out of nowhere, there's another increase in tariffs on new parts or new areas of trade.
That's right, but then the markets react to that, and they go down, and that Trump is exquisitely attuned to the markets. So that's a driver for him to say, oh, well, maybe I better do something more on the negotiating front. This is going to be hard. China's going to have to make some real concessions. So how can you do that in a way that lets them save some face so it looks like a win-win?
Okay, if Donald Trump isn't worried about his economy, should he be worried about a chap named Joe Walsh?
Yes, he should be worried about a chap named Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh.
Explain who he is. There we go. Yep, thanks, Bruce.
One-term Republican congressman from Illinois, was elected with the Tea Party in 2010. This is small government conservatives, hardcore conservatives. He believes that Trump is unfit for office, that he's not a true Republican. He wants to reclaim the Republican Party for him. He's not going to make it. He'll get crushed. But looking back over 50 years of presidents, where an incumbent president seeking re-election has faced a primary challenge for nomination, regardless, and no such incumbent has lost renomination, but faces a primary challenge, they have been unsuccessful in a general election. This goes back to Lyndon Johnson. If you think about George H.W. Bush, he was challenged by Pat Buchanan. No one remembers him, conservative commentator, lost to Bill Clinton. Obama, Bill Clinton, Reagan, unchallenged, have second terms. So this is 50 years of history. Yeah,
well, there you go. I mean, when someone says Joe Walsh to me, I'll start thinking about the guitarist from the Eagles. But now there's this other guy.
He's more popular than this guy.